Mod nav fed with PC engineer.
What's that?
It's just confirming. Mod nav fed with PC engineer.
Roger.
Let's see if I actually know how this works. That was PC work. Wrong click. That was my mistake.
Fail. Okay, that's better.
Click the panel right next to it because I was looking at the monitor.
Okay, and then Chris, you remember how to use this thing? It's changed a little bit since you've been here. So if you go to, so right now this one is set for that one. You go to layout. I can't remember which one of these it is. It's not that one. So this is changed and they don't make any, they're nonsensical. It's going to be that one. 1, 2, 3. So it matches that, you know, you can tell which one you're on. And then we're looking for, Norby is on some PC. It's on that one. But I screwed up. We don't want it there. So I want to, for my pick and pick, I want to pick 2 and then whatever Norbit is on. What did we say? Yeah.
Norbit's on PC4.
So I'm sacrificing one of the WCA cameras for your Norbit. You should know Norbit before Spall. Because Norbit is like, you know.
You just made Chris very happy.
Well, I got a camera there that's like the same as 3 other cameras, and then I have the eye of Norbit, which can see out hundreds of meters. And it also has those arrows on it that tells me what an idiot I am flying. So Chris doesn't even have to say anything. Okay, we are facing east. We are in the sweet spot in front of Atalanta. Atalanta is behind us, can come down 5 meters. Please, it's making me want to blah.
All right, all you may.
Thanks.
Come down 5 for me, Tim.
Coming down 5.
So.
I think I minimized or just clicked away from your browser that has your camera control.
All right.
So is it approximately 2 hours?
I don't know.
For the ship to arrive at.
Stand by me.
Roger.
Don't be an impatient scientist.
Okay. some technical.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? No, we haven't even started moving. We want to talk about lights again for a minute, and I need your science perspective in here because you have a lot.
Okay. Are we planning to drive or tow?
We're going to try and drive first, and if we can't function it, we're going to tow. Same as yesterday.
Got
so
it.
that is the official. But I wanted to see the lights on the, and I wanted you to see this, everyone in the room to see this. So you see the, I'm going to call those the double D. Like that's, to use Ben's words, totally foobar. That's how they were doing all the roomy stuff in that configuration right there.
Right.
With that camera. So I don't quite understand that.
But Ben had some other lights off here.
No, these are the lights.
This is the configuration they had.
Yes,
okay.
yes. And if I turn my mid lights on, yeah, that's like, so, yeah. So I get to deal with that on transit. But Zeus seems okay. But if I tilt down in Zeus, you're going to see that. So there's not enough lights on the vehicle right now to fill that spot in, unless I like try and fill them in with the manipulator lights, which we could do on the transit. So I know you're keen to get somewhere.
Is that triangular shadow? What part of the vehicle is that? Is that like a camera?
You're looking at the porch right there.
Yeah.
So this is the conundrum with lights.
Oh, that's basically where there's an absence of light. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, we used to
see.
have our pit lights there, and we were getting complaints that
Right.
was, and that's because there's a lot of debris in the water. So we pointed those out, so they're like, you know, you got this nice big wide lighting in Atlanta.
Right.
Typically that's not lit up so well to the side, and it's also really nice for my rail cameras. You can see kind of the bright spots, but in front of, so this is where we typically do all of our science.
Yeah, of course.
And that's what you would be looking at if I, you know, picked up that crab or a rock or something. And I physically do not have the lights on the vehicle right now to light that up.
Dan, I'm stealing your bubble to look at gauges.
Yes, please. It can be on gauges all the time.
Well, I don't think that's really an issue because when we're looking...
I know, I'm just pointing it out, but
yeah,
it is an issue because now I'm flying across the seabed and I, you know, have to look at the double D thing the whole time. It's ridiculous.
Well, if you don't feel it's safe or convenient, then we can switch to tow mode.
It's safe.
Okay.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah, 1 knot. 1 knot, come on. Oh, as fast as they can go. As fast as they can go. No, don't argue with me. As fast as they can go. Come on, come on. Otherwise, light the mains. Come on. Ask them how fast they... Yeah, I know. But what's the difference? So let's talk about that for a second then, Chris. If we go in tow mode, you're saying they can only do half a knot? I don't care what they do, but we need to do at least 1 knot because it's how far away? But they can jet pump, that's fine. Yeah. So the advertised transit speed between sites, just so you know what's going on here. The agreed upon speed between sites is 1 knot. And however you have to achieve 1 knot is fine. And the pilots can either stay on the seabed or cry uncle and get towed. So if we start out and I can't stay on the seabed, I just cry uncle, we come up, and I'm getting towed anyways. It's auto tow mode. You get it? Got it? But we can... Sit. Roger. Zoom in there.
Dan, you're pulling me again.
I am.
Roger that.
Come down.
Good to go in ROV?
Come down.
Coming down.
Ready for zoom?
Yeah.
Nice and slow.
I'm blowing it out so you can be a little quicker. I just touched the dirt.
Holding there.
Sorry, mate.
It's all right.
I'm pulling on Tim as he is.
Full wide?
Yeah.
Full and wide. Oh, that's a little piece of debris up there.
Come back and look at our...
Got you, shore.
What's that?
Sorry, left SPL on.
You should get some relief here in a minute, Tim. You can come down a few more meters. No, that's good. Sorry. I'll stay in double digits on the altitude.
Roger.
You got to watch me. I'll ask for that. So I should know when I'm pulling on you. I see out of the corner of my eye. I spy with my little eye. Your thruster's over there.
Everyone lights up red.
But yeah, if they're going red like that, it's like they start to go red a little bit, and
So we're a little late in our watch to do introductions, but is this our front row? Are you feeling up for a quick round of those?
yeah.
All right.
We're waiting for 1 knot.
Sounds good. Hiroshi, do you want to start us off?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Hiroshi Shi. I'm a maritime archaeologist here, and I'm a researcher at the Center of Southeast Study, Kyoto University.
Awesome.
Push
Bill.
in just a little, Jake.
I'm Bill Fallon.
What was that?
Push in a little.
Roger that.
I'm the ocean science intern
Good.
and a data logger, and I'll be attending Florida, my bad,
Nice.
Florida Tech for my freshman year in a month or so.
Can you push in
Awesome.
a little more?
Roger.
I got to back up to get him in the light. So annoying.
Just tell one.
These are really cool.
Good. Okay. Come down a few meters, Tim.
Yeah.
Down a few meters.
Yes,
by
please.
hand.
Yes, quick.
Time
Down,
up.
down.
Coming down.
Turn your auto head off, too.
A nice science
Auto
moment
head off.
as
Give
we
a
wait for the
leash.
ship move.
May, do you know what sort of organism that is?
That's a scale worm, I believe, of some kind, and a shrimp.
Just getting a couple
Some
seconds.
kind of
Trying to
funky
get
polychaete. They're
Jake,
really
a
cool
couple
when they
seconds
move.
of,
Pull wide.
no,
There's it down. Oh,
we're getting it.
Misheard
We're
you.
getting it.
misheard you.
We're going to land Atalanta to do it, but
I feel like the majority of the time I've seen
Awesome.
scale worms have always been on the bottom or on something else.
Yeah, some of the worms can swim.
That's very, very cool. I love it.
I've never seen anything like this.
No, I really like the, oh, it almost looks like it's a feather.
Yeah, it's very reflective, the kind of movements.
Okay, I'm going to let it go. You can go, Wayne.
Coming wide.
We came way out of the box for that.
All right.
I think
Coming
it was
up.
worth it.
Nope. Yep. I got to come back towards you first, Tim.
You still need the leash?
Yeah, so if you come up right now, you're going to pull on my tail and I can't do nothing.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, he's going to be brutal. Let me come back to the south. So you see we went 25 meters to the north, and what you did there is came down to crazy altitudes and single digits, and then you also turned off your auto heading, so we went basically tail to tail just to get whatever 60 seconds of video there.
Yep.
So what I don't know is it's like when that happens, I just pull Atalanta around randomly so that can put a turn in our tether, which it has. So we got to consider which way we come out there now. So as I come to the south, now you can click your auto head back on. Depending on the current, we'll get all wrapped around the proverbial axle.
And do you care which way come around when I...
No, you don't. All you need to do now is once I get a little closer to you, you change your head to the east. So what I'm going to do is hoofy boogie and get out in front of you, because you know we did ask Chris to move at 1 knot. Yeah, so we got that video clip there while we went 25 meters north while the ship was going east. I had to think about that for a minute because I always get it wrong. At 1 knot.
Are we moving at 1 knot with DP, or?
The
Yeah.
ship is moving at 1 knot. with
Yeah, that's
DP.
what I mean.
Atalanta is now 10 meters into that move.
So how long does it take to the Quincy?
Around 2.5 hours.
Half hours?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It depends if Chris can go faster than 1 knot. He's all worried. He's got his Rennie hat on now. He's worried about the DP.
That's the question.
700 is all I got, baby.
All right, we're chugging along here. We can continue with introductions. I'm May Lubetkin. I'm in the back row. I'm watch leading at the moment, and science manager on the ship. One of three science managers.
Yeah, testing, testing, testing.
Jacob, if you want to give an introduction, feel free.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm up in the video seat. I'm Jacob Ottaviani. On this cruise, I'm a video engineer, what I'm doing right now. When I'm not on watch, I am the ship's documentarian for this cruise, running around with a camera, taking photos and videos to document, the significance of what's going on here.
Tim, you can make your heading east, please.
At the same time, I'll be editing the highlight videos off of these dives, along with a couple of other pieces that'll be released throughout the next couple of weeks on our YouTube page, EV Nautilus. So if you want to keep up to date, or if you missed the dives and want the the best ofs these, make sure to go check those out over there. And yeah, when I'm not on board, I'm doing almost the exact same thing as I work for OET and Nautilus as the video production coordinator, where I
can look up a bit.
Run the YouTube channel and make all of the video content for that, as well as a lot of our social media platforms.
Nice. K2, you want to?
How are they at? Sorry.
Hey, yeah, I'm Chris Krasnowski. I am here as a navigator and I guess ROV mapping and shallow water mapping specialist.
Alpha Geek.
Alpha Geek. When I'm not here, I'm running my consulting company, doing this sort of thing and doing software development and technology development related to this sort of thing.
Actually, come back down. Give me 15 meter delta.
All right, Dan.
This will be 15 meter altitude. I'm Dan in the herd chair. This is my day job.
Very efficient with introductions. Tim.
Hi all, I'm Tim. I'm currently sitting at Atlanta chair. More frequently on Nautilus, I'm a data engineer. Don't spend much time on the van. And when I'm not here, currently I'm also working on land data engineering for OET and being a grad student at URI.
Awesome.
So jealous. Tim gets to go back to school.
Thanks
Fun for a little bit.
all of our scientists and
I'm sure
archaeologists.
Chris has a few spots for you.
What?
I'm sure Chris has a few spots for you.
Yeah, right.
We have quite a few people that are part of this expedition who are off the ship as well. Around 200 experts who are tuning in, and a lot of the public as well. We actually had a few people comment that that really interesting worm-like creature was a squid-worm.
A squid-worm.
So
I like that.
That's a new one for me.
I
Yeah,
think
me
we have seen squid-worms before, but it's been a while. I haven't seen one personally.
I ain't never seen no squid-worm.
Reminds me
Like
of
the
like
one
a
Rennie has
tambourine
tattooed
that
on
you'd
his
like,
arm.
It
the little
does.
shaky thing.
It does look like one of those, yeah. Also, a couple of really nice comments from earlier. One was for Hiroshi. A viewer said that they were really moved by your words in the Nautilus video that was posted online, and just so happy that everyone can be collaborating together now on an expedition like this to honor everybody who was part of these battles. So
I'm getting pulled again, Dan. Why
that
am I
was really
getting pulled?
nice.
Maybe not, because your delta is 20 meters.
You want it less?
Yeah.
I have a
You're right
question.
under me.
Yeah.
A while ago I saw the
Because
winch
we're doing
going,
one
but
knot.
I thought Herc
Come
is
down
still,
to 15.
motors
Coming
on
down
and
to
moving.
15.
So what was the winch, like, it's going on right now? What's that for?
Tim, do you want to take that question?
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, why is the winch going if Herc is still on it using his motors?
Why is the winch going?
It just stopped, but trust me, it was moving. I saw it.
Yeah.
Yep. The winch moves Atalanta vertically.
All right.
And as Dan gets further or closer from me, the horizontal distance increases or decreases, so I have to adjust the vertical distance to compensate for that. Now that he's getting further ahead, gotta come down, give him some leash.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Speaking of, coming down again.
Yeah, you can sort of like 15, 10 to 15. So because we're doing a knot, it's gonna pull on you there. Either that or we're taking that cable with us. What's that? Yeah, it's. I'll use Tim's now because that one's. Maybe I can fly better on Tim's nav because I'm not. Roger. Out of missiles, switch into guns. I actually don't need to see the boat there because I can see it on Tim's machine. So now I have a window in a window. Look at that. And I like that boat better.
That's my fancy boat.
But yeah.
Just mute.
You don't have Delta on yours yet, do you?
It's okay. No,
It's this guy up here.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Unlabeled, but it's there.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Labels are for people that don't know what the numbers mean.
And good size also unlabeled, but it's 10 meters.
Roger. So with the real nav system, they have these things called rubber bands. And the rubber band can be, so what's Atalanta's distance from the launch point right now? That would all be displayed. What's the distance from Atlanta to Hercules? And the rubber band travels around. The reason we call it a rubber band is you like snap it on there and it gives you the range of bearing all the time.
Gives you range. Do you want slant range or horizontal range for those?
It depends on the situation. You could have one or the other, or I'm going to come up just a bit. Are you happy with this altitude?
I'm okay with this altitude. You're pulling on me a little bit already.
Yeah.
Can come down a bit if you want more.
Rumor is we can get Herc's speed somewhere. Navigator has that capability.
I'm a big fan of these little red shrimps that we keep seeing. They're pretty cool looking. And
Very cool.
I thought this was cool. That's a fun fact. A lot of deep sea animals are red because red disappears, the color that disappears first. So it's good for staying hidden. It makes it harder to see at depth and stuff.
Yeah, color is a really interesting thing to think about with deep sea biology, and when it's intentional and useful for the organism, and when it's kind of almost like an accident, or so tube worms at hydrothermal vents have these really bright red tops that are kind of poking out of the actual casing. And
you got speed there, Chris?
it's not actually to hide, it's just sort of a
what's that?
a factor of being made of bud,
I can't hear you, you're muted.
and then some organisms are
Yeah.
intentionally colored in certain ways so that they can, just as you said, can be less visible and hide.
I think it's just crazy to think about like evolution as a whole. Like, how does it know to be red? Like, how does it know that red disappears?
Now I'm catching up with you.
It's
Yeah.
crazy to think about.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Some of them turned out to live through things longer and pass on those traits.
Linear, we're going to settle once and for all this hocus pocus here about...
Now I'm ahead of you.
Yeah, you are. What the auto XY set speeds are. I need to get back ahead. I had stick lock on and then put auto XY on. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't going anywhere. Herc is just... The PID loops have been...
Was that a sea urchin we just saw?
It might be. It's kind of hard to see. It's a little
mucked with.
dark blob.
Let me get back ahead and then we'll kick in.
Some of
So
these.
I have max velocity set at 1.
Side note, is the reason I can't see any comps or gauges in my Atalanta cam?
Because you're looking straight down with the camera and it's blocking.
Oh, that'd do.
But as I come back ahead of you, you can tilt up now.
So that's that thing in my view is the camera. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I use also that as clever there, and if that camera is at 45 through there, you could see the comps, and as it happens, if that camera is 45, maybe up just a little more, and Hercules is in the center of Atalanta's view, and our delta is somewhere between 15 and 20, that's like in the sweet spot in the box, and in theory we can maintain that for the next 3 hours. So even with no nav, if I stay in the center of the box there, we're good. I'm not going to drag you. Delta's not too high or too low, etc., etc. So okay, here we go. I'm 10 meters ahead. I'm going to set my heading at supposedly 100. Come on, Herc. 102, good enough. I'm going to engage auto XY and do a step forward of 200 meters. So, and the max velocity is set at 1, and joy gain is set at 100. So there's also the thing, like if I set joy gain at 50%, that would be 50% of this random number of 1. So the question has always been what that speed is, knots or meters per second. Yeah, so I'm either doing 1 meter per second or I'm doing 1 knot. 0.5. So they are knots. Because 0.5 meters per second happens to be 1 knot. You've just settled a ongoing argument between Rennie and I. Not argument, discussion. Rennie and I discuss.
There's another one. There's another one of those shiny worm things.
Squid-worm.
What happened? Why is it taking
On the
off?
right, I think.
Yeah,
Why is it doing that?
just a tiny glimpse of it. Could put a note in.
That's the DVL on holiday. Because of left turn guide. Maybe I'll click a few more forwards in. Yeah, it's stuck on stupid. So I don't know why it's doing that. I had this issue yesterday. I couldn't use auto XY. Clearly, either that or I've had a telemetry glitch and I lost control of the vehicle.
I'm going to come down a bit also.
Oh, that's what's happening. Tim's asleep on the delta. It was. We're all three asleep on the delta. Sorry, can't throw just Tim under the bus. We all gotta lay down on the road.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the Atalanta pilot job description just says Delta, so, you know, it's my space.
No, mine. Actually, one of my nicknames is yeah.
I've heard the stories.
What? What are you talking about? What's going on with this? It's wonky around. Oh, the squares are like something wonky. Some strange units. Okay, if I can get Herc setting to be okay. Try that again. So in theory, this thing can fly a razor straight line, but the evil empire. Oh, we're flying off your nav screen too, Tim.
So we have a few viewers who are really curious to hear more about your story, Hiroshi. If you want to share anything about visiting other wreck sites or some of your experiences.
Yeah, I can talk about, let's say, those wood deck. So if it's, let's say, like a Solomon Island, and if it's shallow water, the wood material can be, eaten by teuthidodrilus shipworm. And then those shipworm, teuthidodrilus makes kind of
Beautiful.
kind of tube, like calcium tube. And then sometimes old shipwrecks, let's say wooden shipwrecks in the shallow water. Only you don't see the hull, but only see the teuthidodrilus tubes. Like a kind of noodle, like a worm. They make us those. So yeah. So but since this is a deep water and high pressure, so teuthidodrilus worm cannot survive this kind of environment. So that is why wooden material is not eating. Yeah, this condition.
Nice. And is there any particular areas or wrecks that you've looked at before that were particularly exciting for you?
What number would you suggest there to make the heading so
Sorry,
it actually behaves?
sorry, can you say that again?
Were there any other wrecks that you've studied in the past that were highlights?
I forget what they, yeah.
So it's like it's a question about the three
favorites. Yeah, favorite wrecks that you.
Oh. Wow.
What would you crank up?
Whatever I can see, it's everything new for me, and then
right now
it's yeah, I like to see Japanese shipwrecks, and yeah, and to be honest, I like to see aircraft wrecks, but this is mainly shipwrecks, so yeah.
Nice.
D off? We have already know I. Yeah. PID without the I. I don't know. boinging, but before it, like, wouldn't even come back, so.
Yeah, well, the D was probably too high.
Say
So the P, the
Proportional.
proportional sets how strongly you spring.
Yeah, it would be great.
And D will basically set the damping factor.
Right.
Right? So if it, so now since you're boinging,
Get a little D.
now give it a little D. Maybe, yeah. Enter. And see if that damps it out.
So
And actually, the fact that you have a...
This is like base equards then, isn't it?
The units relative to each other are not, because one's on velocity and one's on position, so...
Yeah, but to have more, typically have more proportional than derivative?
It can be. Yeah, see, the boinging stopped. Now, see, you have a constant offset. Well,
Yeah.
the boinging didn't totally stop. Well, I mean, part of it is your tether's probably dragging you all over the place.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have a constant offset means that you have a constant...
The ship must have slowed down a little bit, so let me slow down.
No, it's still doing a knot.
Oh, hey, call me on that. If I turn my joy gain down now to, so does that turn, does my speed then slow down to 0.25 meters per second? Or is it affected at all?
Doesn't seem to be.
Really?
No. Nothing changed.
Nothing changed. It has to.
Well.
Oh, I can guarantee it changed.
Oh, there it goes. It just dropped now.
Yeah, I turned it. So the joy gain does affect the, it's some percentage of the max velocity, but how much?
That's exciting.
10 is like stopped.
Yeah. Well, your heading's behaving.
Yeah. It drifted off the line because I turned the joy gains all the way down. So I just see it would be interesting to see if it comes back to the line. I don't think it will. I did that because I was about to start pulling on the tether.
Yeah.
Okay, so, sorry, what do you...
I mean, so far your heading looks pretty good. In a situation like this, where if you had, like, say, constant force on the tether, that was causing a constant offset in your yaw, that's when you'd actually want a little bit of an I term.
Yeah.
Because I compensates for constant forces. So if you think about like a spring on a, think about a spring on the analogy. So P is the intensity of the spring, D is the damping, and I is like compensating for an offset. So like if you had a constant gravity pulling on it or a constant like wind or current or something blowing on it in some direction, the I would basically sets your response to that, which is generally why you only want it on depth, because you have the buoyancy that you want to compensate for.
Right. So basically the integral, the way you're explaining it, compensates for a constant force.
Yeah, yeah. It's a low pass filter. It's the proportion on your low pass filter, right? Man,
Copy that, Tim. I'm trying to get back to the south here. I was doing something stupid again.
This DVL is pretty off.
Yeah, I'm having...
I mean, it shouldn't affect your things, but it's...
It does. Is that trash can on your side?
No.
Or is it on your side, Tim?
Oh, here it is. Here.
Thank you. I'm trying to get back in front of you, Tim. I was, again, thought I had ROXY on and I was stuck in Stepak. Do a more radical move here. Ooh, I might regret that.
I wonder what that bright whitish blue thing is. Soda can, maybe?
Yeah, it could be.
Off in the corner there.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell.
Sucks to see, even, what's our depth, like 700 meters plus, and we're still finding trash.
Yeah, almost 900 meters. Yeah, unfortunately we've seen trash in all sorts of depths. I believe there's microplastics in all depths of the ocean. But a lot of efforts are being made to figure out how to address microplastics and see if there are ways to either filter or have organisms that actually eat plastic and things like that. But it's definitely a global
totally
problem
off, right?
as we keep producing more
The
plastics.
goal is, oh no, so
It definitely wouldn't be impossible to find trash or waste from the time period around the battles that took place here.
Yeah.
When we were in Palau towards the end of last season, we found a number of Coca-Cola bottles that Dave Roberts, our video engineer, dated from like the mid-1940s.
That's cool.
And so the assumption was that the sailors would have just thrown them overboard or they fell. We also found a watch standing mug or two from the similar time period. So it is possible we could find something from those time periods, which is always quite interesting.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, for these wrecks that sunk, definitely everything that was in them did as well. There was cans and things like that.
we might wind up in tow mode here. Might be able to get it back. What's that, Tim? You're muted.
Yes, I am. I believe you can catch up.
Also in auto heading this. I'm not sure if these come into play when it's out of auto XY. I can change my,
You are pulling me again.
yes I am. I don't know if
Going too far north.
So this is the struggle we had yesterday.
Move your mic, just mute yourself.
The current was pushing me out the line and I couldn't achieve a crab that was effective. And it would not hold an auto heading, so I couldn't I'd get it where it was crabbing nicely, and then the heading would come off and I'd get behind a little more. I don't know.
And I'm going to bump down a little to give you a bit to...
Oh yeah, we should be at like 15 delta. You get immediate relief when you come down. If you touch the dirt, you're too low.
Roger. I have my little offset here.
What's that?
Light blue line's Atalanta depth. Dark blue line is depth plus altitude. As long as they don't exist in the same space, they should be fine.
Roger. So sorry, yellow is Herc, white is Herc.
White is Herc, dark yellow is Herc plus depth under Herc.
Right.
Light blue is Atalanta. Dark blue, which is kind of hidden by the Herc, is the seafloor under Atalanta.
Roger. Yeah, we tried to do that. We tried to do that here. And it was not quite successful. Okay, I am... So what's happening is, for some reason, the goal is changing. So it's like there's an offset in the joystick that is... What's that?
You're full turning to the south now and going to get pulled around soon.
Yeah, I got Tim talking to me and Chris talking to me muted. You're muted, Chris. You're muted, and I can't hear you with these on my ears. Oh, sorry, I was not watching them, trying to find by instruments here. So I don't know why that's happening. It's very frustrating. So basically, the auto heading is drifting. So like the set point should be.
Side note, May is C-log, a snap-on by design.
See it? No.
It seems to be off. Are you seeing that it's on?
At the very bottom of the page, you have a snap-on. If we don't want it, I think there's a menu to turn it off. I know just...
In my C-log, it is off.
I think your display of it is off, but the taking of it is on.
How are you seeing that? Is that...
There's a text label at the very bottom if you scroll all the way down, next to where it says free space.
Ah, I see.
Doesn't matter too much, I just know it can give a bunch to scroll through sometimes.
Yeah, that's strange, because normally if it does it, it will also input an event, and there are none.
Yep, I think there's a toggle switch that filters whether or not it gets
it's
displayed
visible.
in the interface. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So those are both switches you have.
Okay.
And there's a menu option, I think, under system management that'll let you turn it on and off.
It's off.
So, okay. Now I'm getting it. There's keeps pushing me radically to the north. Your vector arrows are in play, Chris? I don't see. Are they the big green line now? Is that what's going on? Or I don't see the vector. Vector. Oh. So one of the cool things to have on there is the velocity arrows get bigger or smaller. So the three, you got the red one there, the green one, and the blue one. Oh, there's a.
Yeah, we're passing by something here.
Don't go look at it. I'm going to start pulling you.
Yeah, I can't. Sorry. We're gonna go into tow mode here. I cannot maintain.
We're going into tow mode, you said?
I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna lose the battle here. Not intentionally. I've been really struggling here with this. Yeah, we saw it visually. A rock. And there we go. Tow mode. Not a darn thing I can do about it.
All right, want me to come up?
Yes, please.
How much do you want?
Let's come up to 50.
50.
I tried. We saw one rock. That was it. We're out. Oh, look, there's the rock.
There's a good fight, Dan.
This vehicle is, it's just too much on the tether at 1 knot. To, it's 2 fails, 2 nights in a row. Now we'll come up and adjust the lights. Just kidding.
Wait, I've seen this one before.
These lights are stupid.
Doing this again.
Don't scare me, Dan.
Want me to come out of auto head now that I have the sea
Yes,
anchor?
please. Yes, please. I'm all autos off. I'm basically dead stick, so I'm gonna float up probably 10 meters above you.
Roger.
I'm surprised May hasn't asked how long till we get there. Are we there yet? Or maybe she did. Maybe they did, and I was not listening. I was struggling with this ROV.
Let's see, it looks like I'm coming up at 6-7 meters a minute, and you're coming up at more than that. You might get there before I do.
Roger. I will correct this. What is all this stuff? Oh, that's why I can't fly the ROV, because I have a software updater.
Oh yeah, don't bust install.
What is this? Oh.
Got our phase B ground fault again, but oh no, now we're in the case.
Why are we pinging something? We don't need to be pinging something. And by the way,
600K.
always the arrow, never the archer. I don't know why this side thing is here either. That's a problem. You can turn that forward thrust, aft thruster, I think it is, off.
Thruster
The
aft.
offensive one.
Oh, good. But if I click it on again,
So are we,
it hasn't in the past.
Chris, are
come
we on
back.
jet pumps, or how are we moving
It
right
takes, the bigger the ground fault, the longer
Yeah,
it
we're
takes to propagate to
we're jet
the GUI.
pumping.
Gotcha,
now? Okay,
gotcha.
roger.
Or well, I mean we're in DP, but the jet pump is maxed out basically to the fuse limits.
It's been very nice though that the bow thruster is limited to so quiet I can barely sleep because I'm used to the noise. Yeah, imagine that.
So we are heading towards USS Quincy, and we should be there in about an hour and 40 minutes. Then we'll again do an orbit survey of the wreck before descending down for a visual survey. We have a lot of viewers from around the world with us. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Got another question for Hiroshi. Did you get a chance to observe the dives on Expedition 154, the Japanese and American aircraft carriers in Papahana, Mukeakia?
No, I don't. I didn't have a chance to. Yeah.
Nice. Was there anybody in the van that was on that cruise?
I wasn't on the cruise, but I edited all the highlight videos, so I saw all the footage anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What
yeah.
cruise was that?
Midway.
Oh, yeah. I was on that cruise.
Yeah, that's the fun little secret of being the editor on shore is I get all of the footage anyway, so I get a little crash course in whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
So I can dial in a little Z-bias there to know my vertical ascent. Something like that should do it. Vertical velocity.
All right, Atalanta at 50, stopping there.
Roger. So what I was saying, Chris, that the vector arrows get bigger and smaller with the speed. So basically, from a pilot's perspective, I can look at that and I know if my little arrow's sticking out that far.
Don't worry, the next version of the ROV software has that.
Roger. And it is very helpful.
Yeah.
When I went back and operated robots again, I'd forgotten all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically these little guys, right? But
Yeah.
they change.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it really, you can tell at a glance if you're drifting sideways before you've drifted sideways. It's very helpful if you're trying to fly the line. Which is really strange. All this, and we don't have the capability to put a line in for the ROV to follow. I'm going to dial in a little more, Zeke. Still coming up at 4 meters a minute. That seems to have arrested my vertical velocity there, just 5 meters above you, which is fine for the tow, as long as you can see Hercules and Atalanta's aft cam.
Yep.
We're good. If it drifts out of Atalanta's aft cam, I might start getting nervous, but it's going to have to be like 10 meters before that happens.
And are we towing Herc now instead of driving?
We are, yeah. When you were down for just a sec, we switched into tow mode.
I like it better with the light on.
Faster?
Yeah, it's just was making more sense.
still going the same speed. One knot, which we've been doing the whole time.
So we have a couple of questions here. Will we be diving on the USS Atlanta during this expedition? So that ship was looked at quite a few times in the past. It's also in the 1993 Ballard film and was looked at earlier this year as well. We may get to it. We're trying to survey as many wrecks as possible. But the next few wrecks that are kind of up on our list after the Quincy is the Ayanami, the Udachi, then the USS Laffey, the Canberra, and the Northampton. So that's what we're planning for the next little while. And then after that, we'll make a new plan of wrecks to visit in order during these really long dives where we tow or transit between sites. Since the sites are relatively close to each other, we're able to do that and stay in the water for a longer period of time. Often when we're diving on more biological or geological dives, we're limited by essentially our sampling boxes. So we'll collect samples and fill up the vehicle and need to process those samples, and we'll have some particular goals in mind for each seamount or feature or seafloor that we're diving on before we move to the next one. So that's why we'll dive and recover. But for these wreck sites, since they're non-invasive and visual surveys, we're able to stay in the water for longer periods of time. And if it's more efficient for us to just tow between sites, then bring the vehicles up and move the ship, then that's what we'll do. So we've got quite a few wrecks in a row before we're going to bring up the vehicles. Of course, unless something changes, but that's our plan for now. And another question, it's kind of a general one, but since we're towing, maybe we can go around the room. Is there anything in particular that each of you are hoping to see on this mission, and what are you sort of most most looking forward to seeing? Bill, do you want to start?
Sure. You know, I'm an intern, so I'm only on for this week, and I get off in a couple days. So I'm not sure which ships exactly I have the opportunity to see, but I'd love to see the Japanese battleships, the Kirishima and the Hiei.
Yep, Hiei.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doubtful I will, just because I don't think that's in our plans in the next few days, but I'd also love to see the Japanese destroyers, the Fubuki and the Ayanami, like May just mentioned, because I love the designs of Japanese ships, and I live in Japan right now, so it'd be pretty cool to see some of them, because I've seen their modern counterparts with the same names for some of them, so I think that'd be pretty cool.
And what's maybe both for you and Hiroshi, what are the main differences between the modern counterparts of these ships?
Oh, well, just the naming.
Yeah, it's
really.
the naming is the same.
It's just the
Totally
naming.
different ship.
Okay, so they're just. So why would they keep the same name when they make a completely different ship?
I think it's a kind of legacy, you know.
Just for legacy.
Yeah, same
Okay.
thing as U.S. ship, you know. Even the some, let's say, what's it?
Like we have.
Yeah, right. Even some sunken ship, can
Yeah,
be. Yeah.
We do that too with our ships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you have the Kaga, which was in World War II an aircraft carrier that was sunk at the Battle of Midway, I believe. And now, you know, right in my home port of Yokosuka, you got the modern Kaga, which is a helicopter carrier and destroyer. Super cool looking. But yeah, they've
Completely different.
completely different. Yeah,
Just a name.
just
yeah.
as cool though.
The Kaga was one of the ships that the Nautilus visited during the exploration of those during NA-154, and there's a great highlight video. Kind of compresses down that whole dive if anyone is interested to find it on our YouTube page.
Nice.
All right.
Jacob, did you make that video?
I did make that video.
Awesome.
What about you, May? What are you looking forward to seeing?
Well, so I'm not an archaeologist. I'm a geologist by training, and I've been on quite a few science dives. So I really like seeing the environment and the changes from sort of a biological and even the way that wrecks are sort of in some ways enveloped into the undersea environment. I think that's interesting, and to see, you know, the different depths and the different features and how they end up being substrate for animals to live on and yeah, become part of the environment. I think for me that's an interesting part of this process, coming from more of a science side. But yeah, I haven't dove on a lot of wrecks. I was part of the Amelia Earhart plane search, and I've been on some of these other archaeological searches, but never in an area like this with so many known wrecks where we're surveying with quite a lot of knowledge, you know, having images, having plates and diagrams, and yeah, so it's a really different kind of work than I'm used to, but I'm really happy to be able to learn from all the experts aboard about what they're most excited about, and yeah, some of the history of what happened here.
I liked seeing all the coral and the crabs and the anemones all over the the barrels of the 5-inch guns. That was pretty cool.
Definitely.
I think 6-inch guns, maybe.
Yeah, it's since these have been looked at a number of times over the years, and perhaps will be surveyed again in some number of years. It's also kind of interesting to see how things like that change over time, and how the wreck will degrade a little bit more and also become more engulfed in biology and basically become part of the living seafloor. Anybody else have any particularly exciting things they're hoping to see?
I've been curious to see it. We're up a bit in the water column now, being towed, but when we were transiting along below, I was curious to see if we would come across anything, any smaller sites like in any airplanes or unknown debris fields that could be quite interesting to find. But since we're up a little bit, I don't think we'll have the opportunity to do so.
We do have the Norbit running, so you can.
Oh, very nice.
We're still looking.
Awesome. Cool. I'll throw that up on Sat 3.
It'd be pretty cool to see like a PT boat, a little torpedo boat, or maybe like a troop transport, which I think the Drix found a few barges off of Henderson Field, but I don't think we'll be seeing those with the ROVs.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of the sites that we are visiting some of them have been visited before, and we know where a lot of these larger features these larger wrecks are, but all of those kind of smaller planes and smaller features wouldn't be resolved unless we were closer to the seafloor. So as Chris said, we've got the Norbit running even though we're towing, so we'll be able to identify some of those potential unknown sites.
Is the Norbit attached to the ship or the Hercules?
It's attached to Hercules.
All right. So a few days ago, before we had the part we needed, and we were running the Norbit. Oh, were we running the Norbit, or was it different? Was it a different?
It was a different sonar. It was a. It's a similar sonar. It's an R2 sonic sonar. Similar capabilities, some pluses and minuses, but
just under the ship.
We were running it on a small, small surface boat, 30 or 25-foot surface boat. Yeah, so we were using that to search for shallow water and maybe lost aircraft and lost ship. We found a couple interesting targets, and we did find a unknown shipwreck that the dive team, the scuba team, is going to dive on.
Cool.
Later in the expedition.
The Nautilus was also running its multi-beam sonar at the same time as we were doing mapping passes, waiting to get in the water. Yeah,
yes, that's correct. Most of this area has been pretty well mapped already by that sort of multi-beam, and it's the even large wrecks like these cruisers and stuff didn't really show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know exactly where it is ahead of time and you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, I can kind of see it, but it wouldn't look that much different than just noise or rocks or things like that.
What's the resolution on the roughly in this depth for the Nautilus's multi-beam? I know it's much lower than Norbit. Give or take.
30, 50 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the resolution on the ship's multi-beam is 30 to 50 meters. The resolution on the mapping system that we have on Hercules is 10 to 30 centimeters.
Yeah, and that
so
means
it's literally 10 times
the
higher
distance between each point is 10 to 30 centimeters on Norbit versus on the ship's multi-beam.
Versus 20 to 50 meters.
Yep, and that allows a much better image to be visualized.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have a couple pixels on an entire ship on the shipboard multi-beam. But the trade-off is you cover a much larger area.
Yes.
We cover a postage stamp on the...
That's one of the cool things. I got to see a lot of working with Jonathan on the Rumi project as he was figuring out how to integrate different layers of data and the sensor fusion side of things, is watching it go from using just the photogrammetry models to being able to add the point cloud from Norbit and then a higher resolution mesh created off of that point cloud. That was super, super cool to watch. Kind of become a reality and being able to toggle those layers on and off and really see the different layers of data collected on dives such as these.
The different scales you're dealing with is always wild to me, right? We start from like a satellite bathymetry, which is kilometers resolution, and then your given multi-beam survey might be a single pixel in your satellite bathymetry, and then your Norbit maps like a couple pixels in your multi-beam map. Like displaying them all at once the way they're trying to do with some of the Ruby stuff is, non-trivial just from a how do you look at it in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, it's always these trade-offs between being able to map more area from further away versus getting up closer and getting higher resolution, and then getting up really close and getting that visual and immersive imaging of the site.
Is that kind of the standard order of operations, Chris? The start wide with, say, the ship's multi-beam, then go when we find a target we want to dive on?
Yeah, generally. That's sort of the, at least for this ship, that's sort of what we do. Yeah, and like Tim was saying, it works at any scale. Like if we're looking for geological features a lot of times we'll see a lump in the satellite bathymetry, so we're like, what's that? And then we'll go look at it with the ship's multi-beam, and then we'll go down and we'll find a cool ledge or feature or whatever, and we'll hit it with the Norbit, and then we'll zoom in even beyond that and look at things, you know, like coral size or whatever with the optical system.
Yeah, our cameras can probably see a couple Norbit points, but not that many, right? At the resolution you're mapping.
What do you mean?
In the like field of view of your camera while looking at
Yeah,
something.
I don't know. By the time you get, with this sonar, like, your resolution is single centimeters when you're up close. So, you know, you can see the same things a lot of times that the camera can, but they're just a little fuzzier. You're not gonna like totally miss stuff, unless it's acoustically transparent or something. Like
Stealthfish.
Well, goopy things.
Chris, what would you, if there were like specific Norbit or R2 improvements, or you know, what kind of shortcomings do you see of them as they are now? Or how do you think
right
they'd
now
advance into the future?
There's a couple. I mean, some of the things that we're starting to see now are, so right now you sort of get like a single slice at any given time, like a single line. Some of the newer systems can either sweep the beam forward and back, so you can get more of a 3D view, or it can actually collect multiple beams at the same time. That's sort of the latest, the generation that's coming out. That has the advantage of, one, just collecting more data points, but for subsea mapping, when your positioning data isn't great, it allows for overlap from ping to ping to ping. So you can say, for example, like you're going over a rock, you can see, oh, it was there in this ping, it was there in this ping, it was there in this ping, and it's like, you can compare that with your nav and actually correct the navigation and make a higher resolution map. So the sonars already exceed the capabilities of the navigation. So it's like, you know, it's like taking a tape measure and like, you don't know, and measuring your range to something if you don't know where one end of the tape measure is. You got to know where both ends are.
I always make fun of Chris for having a map that's at, you know, centimeter resolution, somewhere there-ish.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. I mean, even like a self-consistent map is still valuable, even if you don't know exactly where it is on the Earth, which is a problem that you can run into. But yeah, so some of those other extending to the two-dimensional, or the, I don't know, 2 to 3-dimensional multi-beam systems would really allow for that, to really allow the multi-beam to improve the quality of the navigation,
right,
which would allow for the overall improvement in quality in the map. They don't actually have any more resolution than what we have now.
right.
Like they collect more points, but they're not more precise.
Yeah.
But you can use that for other things that can make the overall product more precise. At least in the underwater navigation. In surface, where you have perfect GPS, it doesn't matter.
And were you saying that there are systems that already have that, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, R2 is coming out with one. The trade-off with the 2D grid sonars in the past was, normally it was a trade-off between total resolution, like, so normally like this Norbit type system with a single swath would have been more precise, even though you're only collecting a single line. With the latest generation systems, it's not true. Like, they're just as precise, and they collect beams forward and back and sideways and every possible direction. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see some of the results with that. I think they're just the problem is that I don't think they're starting with a depth-rated system just yet. So, that is going to be
more like shallow
well,
water.
R2 has deep systems, but their new thing, the new hotness, isn't depth-rated yet. That will be in a year or so, probably.
Is there any way to improve navigation in a different way, so that our
yeah, so sort of the traditional way is to, so we have the DVL, which gives us
Right.
precise movement over a short time period, or accurate movement over a short time period and very precise movement. So you use that and you make like a tiny little 10-second map, and that gives you like a little 3D patch that you can map to overlapping spots.
Right, that you can like kind of pin.
And that's kind of the traditional way, state-of-the-art way to do this, to do SLAM. It's called simultaneous localization and mapping. It's the state-of-the-art way to do that now. And it does help. It definitely helps, and it can work pretty well. But the problem is if you're exploring out into new area a lot, you don't have overlap for a very, very, very long time.
Right.
Until you turn back on yourself. Whereas if you have a sonar that can look forward and back, you're at least looking back at the points that you just left. So, and this is one of the things I'm working on with Jonathan and stuff, is actually use some of the optical stuff to improve the navigation for the acoustic stuff, because they do point tracking and things like that. So at least when we have when we're in visual range, we can improve the navigation as if like take feedback from the optical solution and feed that back into the acoustic solution.
Nice.
If it sounds like Chris spent 5 years of his life writing a PhD thesis on this.
Yeah, it turns out, yeah.
Yeah, he has.
It's all right. Tim's on the way. He's getting sucked into the same lab.
Yeah, but not mapping. We're done with that.
No, it's been solved. I already did it. There's nothing left to do.
So we have several of our experts ashore are tuning in here, and thanks Randy Stone, who's really interested and looking forward to the Quincy wreck survey, and would love to see the bow area and how it could be compared to Astoria and Vincennes, the previous two wrecks that we had just surveyed. The top of the forward superstructure would also be interesting to see in detail, especially the forward directors. So, yeah, I think all three of these first wrecks that we're looking at are good to compare.
May, do you know our current ETA to the next site? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, it's just over an hour.
All right, not too bad.
It's a weird spider crab-looking thingy floating around.
That
Anyone knows what that is?
This thing?
Yeah,
that little thing right there.
Weird.
Not sure what that was. Yeah, so we'll be arriving around the site in just over an hour, and then it'll take us a moment to get positioned and then start our Norbit survey. So probably we'll be heading down to the seafloor for that visual survey of the USS Quincy in a couple of hours from now.
seems like they'll be done just in time for our watch to transit to the next one.
Yeah, at least we got a little bit of the last one. That was nice.
You got about 15 minutes of a nice survey, and then
I think it was like 30 or 40.
was it 30?
Yeah. But you know, the distance between each of the upcoming wrecks is different, so I think the schedule will kind of shift a little bit as we go.
Yeah, I think I remember looking at the plans, and one was only about a 30-minute transit or shorter.
That's for the Canberra later on,
Yeah.
but the next one, the Ayanami, which will be after the Quincy, will be about 3 hours and 20 minutes or so.
Seems like these first 3 have at least been fairly evenly spaced apart. It's been about 3 or so hours per transit, right?
Except for this one,
Except
which is
this one?
2.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think after this one we'll oh. So I think probably the next watch after ours, we have another couple hours of our watch, and then probably the next watch will be finishing the Norbit and descending down, and then doing a visual survey, and then the following watch will probably do that 3.5-hour transit. So I'm pretty sure that on our next watch, 4 to 8 local ship time, we should be doing that visual survey of the Ayanami.
That is certainly good news.
If things go according to plan and things take similar amounts of time as they did before for the surveys.
Let's knock on wood. That's 5 forward. That's close enough.
Which would be really great because we have Hiroshi on our watch, who's our expert on Japanese ships. So it would be really great to survey that wreck with your expertise here. We have a lot of viewers online still from the US, Canada, UK, Norway, Netherlands, Italy, France, Germany, Austria, and several other locations. Most of the ones that are still during daylight hours are the ones that are with us at the moment. So feel free to write in questions since we're just towing along here. We've got another hour of towing and we are available. All right, thanks everybody for hanging in there. We just had a little operational chat and getting synced up for our next site. So we've been off comms for a moment for all the folks out there wondering what happened to the audio. We're just getting ready for approaching Quincy and reconnecting with a few other folks on board. We do have a question. I don't know if Tim, maybe this one's for you. Or Chris, do the various acoustic systems on the ROV interfere with each other?
Yeah, absolutely. It's annoying. So there's a couple ways we have to mitigate that. You can either separate them in time or you can separate them in frequency. Generally, most of the sensors are far enough away in frequency that it's kind of okay. When we're at really long range and the signal is weak in the multi-beam, a lot of times I'll see interference from something. I think it's one of the scanning sonars. Just from the time, the pulse pattern, or just from the time in between pings and stuff that I see the interference. But generally things are mostly separated enough in frequency that it's not a huge issue for our thing. There's a couple of sensors that we turn off when we turn off the sub-bottom profiler and things like that when we're running the multi-beam, and like we turn off the ship's multi-beam, and we turn off the acoustic or the current profiler on the ship because that can interfere with the navigation sonars for Hercules. So yeah, it is something that you need to consider for sure.
What does that interference look like? Does it distort the image you would get out of something like an orbit, or does it just make...
Actually, let me see. I might be able to... We might see a little bit of it. Let's see. No, it looks really clean right now. So a lot of times, for anybody that's got the multi-beam screen up on the satellite feed, a lot of times you'd see a constant ring in here, just like a bright spot in the image at a constant radius. Or you'd see like big blocky chunks out here. That's what I see a lot of times from the scanning sonars.
Got it.
But this right now looks very, very clean. I have the brightness turned way up so we can look for any distortion if there is any, but it looks actually really, really clean. So
that's probably a good thing.
That's an excellent thing.
Nice.
So anything in that view that's displayed as below the seafloor is your like extra echoes and stuff, and that's all noise?
Yeah. Yeah, so we, you know what, we actually can see a little bit. I think maybe it's when this guy, the Tritech, is swept over to the left. So watch, as it comes in here, you will see a couple little like... Yeah, there they are. There's a couple little rings, but that's not bad at all. Just like rings that you'll see in this view. So they kind of look like, if I turn the brightness up.
Oh yeah.
Something like that.
They kind of look like these, or like, I mean, this is real. This is reflection. This has to do with the way the acoustic reflection happens off the seafloor. Acoustic reflections aren't perfect, and you can hear ones from the side. So. But yeah, they'll basically look like constant radius rings like that all the way out. And you'll see them like just pop in and out randomly. that's how you know their noise rather than something that you're actually
solid,
seeing.
yeah. Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah, this was a problem we were running on in the shallow water system. The boat that we're operating out on has counter-rotating propellers. And I learned that that's all kinds of fun for acoustic noise.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that would cause such interference.
It sure does. You can. There's just like somebody just shined a spotlight in the water column view down there, right where the
What was the solution to that?
Go slower.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
How fast were you moving?
We could only get up to about 5 knots before we really started blowing it out. There's a couple things. You can move it further away. You can go slower. You can aim it in a different direction. We also tilted the motor up. It's got like a inboard-outboard thing, so we could tilt the motor up, which moved the propellers back a little bit, which helped. Ideally, you'd move the pole forward in a system like that. But I do think I've had it mounted that close to propellers before, and it hasn't been a problem. I think the counter-rotating propellers, I think, really makes a lot of extra noise, or at least noise at the frequencies that we care about. Propeller interference is not, I mean, any noise is bad, but normally propeller noise is low enough frequency that it isn't really a factor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If you were designing kind of a little tender like that to do R2 mapping, what you were doing, what kind of propulsion system would you kind of install to kind of maximize speed, but then minimize?
Money is no object. It would be probably a diesel electric system. So you have electric thrusters, so you're not, and an all-electric system is just not feasible.
Right.
You can't store enough energy. But a diesel electric system, you could have a fairly well-isolated diesel generator. Ideally, it would be like a catamaran type system, so you can run at lower power for reasonable survey speeds.
Like 5 knots or?
Yeah, 5 to 10 knots.
5 to 10 knots.
But a big long catamaran. Catamarans are nice too because you can have moon pools in the deck for multi-beams and other sensors to go down. These sensors you don't tend to install them in the hull. Just because they're expensive and can be damaged, especially on small boats that are going on and off of trailers and things like that.
That makes a lot of sense.
The one on the Nautilus has to be installed because it's huge.
Yeah, absolutely massive.
But yeah, it's much better to just like have them on a pole. But yeah, but even just a reasonable modern outboard is fine, especially if you have a boat hull that can go reasonably quickly on minimal power.
So our next wreck is the USS Quincy, and we should be arriving in about a half hour. And then we'll get settled up and do an orbit survey before descending down to the seafloor.
Chris, how long do you anticipate the Norbit survey of Quincy taking, just out of curiosity?
We're taking, so it takes about a half hour per line.
Mm-hmm.
We do 3 lines.